Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial. My name is William, and in this tutorial I would like us to just work on Laravel Crud, and so we are going to work with everything from start to finish. I would like us to use Bootstrap, so in this case we are going to install Laravel UI, so we will use the command. Let me just extend this a little bit. We'll use the command composer require Laravel UI, and then you hit enter to allow the command to install that package. We will go ahead and install the package and be able to generate the scaffolding. So in this case I'm going to just run the command php artisan UI Bootstrap, and then we will tag auth for authentication scaffolding, and then we will hit enter to install that one, and the scaffoldings have been able to be generated. Now we are going to run npm install, and then once this one is done we will go ahead and run npm run dev. We will run npm run dev, as you can see our application is compiled, and in this case we are using Vite. Now those commands have been able to create for us some files here in views, which we are going to use some of them, and specifically this layout app.blade file. So in this case maybe I can just open it and we see. So the file looks like this. We have Vite as the one that compiles our assets, and then it is pointing to where our resources are, our JavaScript and also the SAS file. Now I would like to go ahead and continue and be able to do several things. The first thing I would like us to do is to create a controller, and in this tutorial we are going to create customers. So we will create customers table, the one that you'll be saving our customers in the database, and then we will have the read, update, and all those other methods that are within the Crud framework. So let us go ahead and and create a controller. And in this case I would like to create a model and controller and any other thing that can be able to be created. So I will use the command php artisan make, in this case let me say make model, and then the name of the model is customer, like that, and then I'm going to tag a, so -a, and in this case it's going to generate for us so many things, but of those things we are only going to concentrate on controller, model, and then the migration. Only those ones are the ones that we're going to use, plus the other one, which is our the file that does the validation of our logic, that is what we call requests. So in this case we have been able to run the command, and when we look at controllers, we have a controller called customer controller. When we look at requests folder here, app requests, app http requests, we have a folder here that is called requests, and we have store customer request and update customer request, and then of course we have the values that you'll be working on in the database. So I would like us to go to migration and be able to create our database, and then we continue working on those things like that. So let us go to database, and then under migrations, the last table is the one that has been created recently. So here, as you can see, we have the customers table, and it has apart from the ID and the timestamps, nothing else. So we are going to have create several fields. So the first field is a string, and we are going to call it customer name. The second field, let me just copy whatever it is that we have there. So we copy 3 times. We have email and we have phone, like that. The next thing I want us to do is to go to app models. So in our app folder here, so app and then models, we have the customer model, and in this case we are going to allow mass assignment. So we are going to just write protected array with the name fillable, and inside here we are going to have several values. Name, the values that we have in our table, and then we have email, and then the last thing we have is phone, like that. We will save that and close this with a semicolon, and I think everything here is okay. I would also like us to go to our controllers and be able to do several things in there. But before we go to controllers, I would like us to go to and do some work on the blade files first of all. So let us go to resources and then views, and inside here I would like to create another folder which we are going to call customers. So new folder, customers, like that. And then inside customers folder we are going to have several files. The first file we are going to have is index.blade.php, and this one is going to display all the customers. And then the next file that we are going to have is create.blade.php. We will also create another method which will be called, another file which will be called show.blade.php. We will also have another one which we are going to call, another file which we are going to call edit.blade.php, like that. So that number of files. Now on the file that we are going to have as show.blade, this is the file that you'll be showing just one post from one customer's details. In this case we can be able to extend our layouts. There is this layout file that we have here, layouts, and the file is called app.blade. So that is what we are going to extend, and it has everything that we require to use Bootstrap in our application. So we are going to say at extends layouts .app, and then after that section, and then content, and then end section. And why are we calling this section of ours content? If we open this app.blade.php, you can see what is being injected, or in other words, where we can be able to put our files is where we have yield content. So it will be adding on top of this app.blade.php, whatever scaffolding that we have here, it will be adding whatever it is that we present under this content here. So let us go back to this file and be able to continue and finish up some things. And I would like to just save this and go to bootstrap.com. So in this case I would like to just open Chrome, and once I open Chrome we are going to visit bootstrap.com, and we will just copy some cards. So here we are going to have, and then we bootstrap a web page, and then we are going to go and look for cards. So yes, forms and then cards. So here we have the card. I'll just pick one of the cards randomly. Let me scroll downwards and just pick on one of the cards. A card that, yes, like this one here, maybe the one that follows. Yes, we can pick this one. And then we can go back to show.blade, and we are going to paste. But before I paste, let me just have a div with a class of container. And then we are going to paste our card, and under the card class, I just want to reduce the size of the card a little bit by putting some requirements. So offset 3, like that, to reduce our card somehow to a manageable size. And then here I would like us to pass our customer, because in this file we are just returning one customer. So in this case we can say customer name, and then we can be able to copy and paste on the other. So in this case we have, in our table we have a customer name and we have customer email, and we have customer phone. So customer phone. We have not been able to return this one from the controller, so even if we are to check right now, we might find issues. But I want to remove this last part where it says go somewhere, so that when I remove, I think everything is good with this specific page. Then I would like us to go to index, and in our index page I also want to copy some bootstrap table. So I will just go to bootstrap.com again and just look for a table. Do not know where the tables are. Yes, they are here. So the tables, we're just going to copy something from this first table that we have here, just this one. And I'm only interested maybe in the table and some part of the content up until there. I can copy just that, and then I'm going to extend again, layouts dot app, and then we are going to have at section content, and then in section, and section, like that. And inside here probably I can have also a div with a class of container. In this case, when you find the data repeating, probably you can take this one to the layouts app and just put a div with a class of container. But in this case, because we have started already going on with our tutorial, we can just continue. So then I will close the body tag, the table body, and then I will also close the table like that. So we are going to have several things. So the first thing here that we will have is ID, so we can leave it that way. And then here we can say we have name, the customer name. Here we have the customer email, and then here we have the customer phone, like that. So this is what will be assisting us to display the customer details. And then, because whatever it is that we are going to get from our database will be customers, so we will get all the customers and then loop through as we display each customer in a single row. I'm going to loop through here, and we are going to have a blade directive for each. In this case, we are going to say customers as customer, yes, I've written it properly, and then end for each, like that. And then inside here, the first thing that we have is customer ID. So in this case, we are going to have again double curly braces, customer. So we are looping through the customers and getting a single customer, so then we can be able to display the customer details. So customer ID, and then of course I'm going to copy this and be able to use the same information here. We can say customer name, and then use the same information here. We can say customer email, and then also use the same information here. You're also going to say customer phone. I'm going to do a little bit more, because once we are able to display these records from the database, I would like us to also be able to do have some action column. So in this case, I'm going to just copy this header column and paste it down here, and we are going to call it action. And under action, we are going to have 3 buttons: the button that you'll be able to delete a user, the button that you'll be able to edit a user, and the button that you'll be able to view a user. In other words, check those values. So those 3, we are going to have them here. So I'm going to just down here add one more table data under the same row, so each user can be edited individually. So let me just do it like that, table data. And then we are going to have a form. So in this case, if you are deleting a user, you're going to have a form. So in this case, form, and let me just form, yes, form with action over, let me just return this one the way it is, form with an action to customers, and then customer ID. We'll use a variable, so variable customer ID, like that. And then this form, we will be submitting it using a method, which in this case we're just going to write it as post, but in reality it will not be a post method for deleting a user, it will be delete. So that method will be able to pass it in here. So we can say at method, and inside here we are going to just say delete, that way. And then still inside our form, we can also be able to pass in the CSRF protection, the cross-site protection. So in this case, CSRF, just to protect our form, ensure that it is coming from the same application that this request is being submitted, like that. Now after that, inside this form still I want to do a little bit more. I want us to have several other buttons, but then the button for deleting, we are going to have it down here. So let me just say button with a type of submit, like that, and then maybe we can say class, in this case btn danger, because we are deleting a user, so we want this one to be clearly representing whatever it is that the customer will be doing, such that they be careful with what they are doing. Then we are going to have 2 links, so with a tags, so href, and the first one we are going to use it for viewing. So in other words, if you click on this link, you can be able to view a user. So here you click view, and then the URL that we are visiting again is customers, and then customer ID. So this one you take us to the show method, customer ID, like that. This one you take us to the show method, and I want it also to look like a button, so we can have a class of btn. Maybe this one we can have it as btn success, just to differentiate. And then we are going to have something similar. So this one you take us to viewing a specific user, and then the other one I want it to be edit. So in this case we are going to have this one as edit, but the route will be customers, customer ID, and then / edit, like that. So that one you take us to that route. And I think if everything is okay and we have not mistyped anything, we have everything perfect in this index.bled file, I would like us to now go to create .bled file and be able to create a form. So again, I'm going to extend layouts.app, and then section content, and then end section, like that. Then here I'm going to just copy the Bootstrap card, again the one that we have used previously. So you go to card and I will copy a card similar to the one we have just used. Yes, we are going to copy this one. So let us copy this card, and then we are going to paste it here. But before we paste, again we can be able to use a class container. So div class container, like that. And then inside here we are going to paste our form. And then another thing that we are going to do now, we are going to maybe change here. We can say add user or add customer, because it's customers table that we are working with. And under card, I would like us to just be able to maybe do the same, something similar to what we've been doing on the others. So column 6 and offset of 3, like that. And then after that, inside the card body, I would like to remove everything that we have here. Yes, we can remove everything that we have there. And I would like to just bring part of a form from Bootstrap again. You go here to bootstrap.com under forms. I would just like to pick the first form, and I'm only just going to copy sort of like what we have here, just that, just the first input. And then inside here we are going to have a tag form, and then after that, inside it we are going to paste our first input. And I'd like to just format it a bit, yes, like that, such that it can be able to be easily readable. So this is label for input email, we don't need that. And here we can say what we want is a name. What we want here is a name, so name. And then again, every other thing here we will be able to change and do something else with it. So because you need that space, I would like to remove this one. And then this thing for we will not be able to share email with anybody else has no value. Then we are going to have input type, in this case text, and then the name is going to be name, so in this case the name of the customer. After that, I would like to do a little bit more such that we can be able to display an error in case we have one. So I would like us to just be able to do to put a class that will be able to show, if we have an error, it will be able to show a red border to just show that we have an error. So you have form control, and then we can say if we have an error, and this error is the error in the name input, then if this is the case, we are going to say this input is invalid, and then we can finish our error. So at end error, like that. One more thing that I would like us to do is also, in case somebody types in something that is wrong, and then we return back to the same page, we can also put the old value. So in this case, I'm going to just say value, in other words, to show the previous input that they inputted. And in this case, we are going to say old, and the name of the input is actually name, so we will have it as old name, and then we close we can be able to, I do not know, yes, let me just put some yes, we can be able to close, let me close it both sides here, such that we can be able to just copy this and paste inside, and we can put it here. Okay, so old name, so value is equals to old name. And then of course there is a problem here, we have not been able to close that one. I think now we are okay. And then the other thing I would also like to do is to display the error once we have it. So we are going to have here a way in which we are going to display if there is any error Or in other words, if we do validation on the backend, we can be able to spit out what the error is. So we can use the directive @error, and this error is related to the field that we are calling name. And then we are going to have @end error, like that. And here we are going to have a span. Let me just type it in like that, such that it can be assisted to autocomplete. And in this case, we are going to have class of text danger. In this case, to just show that there is a mistake, and we can display this error bolded, so we can use the we can use strong, and then we can spit the message that we are getting from our validation request from validation. So that is what we are going to have. So if the error is an error involving the name, then we are going to spit that error here. So I would like to just copy this code and be able to also handle the other inputs, because we will need the name, we will need the email, and we will need the phone. And as we do that, we should not forget to ensure that we have put that directive csrf, otherwise we will get an error 419. Now I would like to copy this, everything that we have here, and I would like to, actually it's everything up until the end here, so from here up until here, and then we are going to paste it down here. And this one now is going to be email, and then here the name is also going to be email, and then the type is also email, and then here the error should be the error involving the email input, and then also the value that you are returning, the old value that you are returning, is also email, like that. And then also for the error here, we will have email, like that. I think that is fine. And then we will paste it one more time, and then down here we are going now to work with the phone input. So the label should be phone, the name should be phone also, the error should be an error involving the phone input, and then the old value, if we are to ever reach there, should also be phone. Then here also we will have it as the input field phone, and I think we have everything, almost everything. I would like us to have also another div similar to whatever it is that we have here, which now we are going to put our button, so I can have it this in a similar way. So a class of MB3, like that, and then we are going to have the button. So we are going to just have a button like that, and the type of the button, we will have it as submit, and then with a class of, can say btn success, like that. So, and then the name of course should be submit, or maybe create user, whatever it is that you would want to use there. I think you'll be okay. So this form of ours is almost complete. The only thing is that we do not have the action, so that is what I want us to do. So when we are sending the form, we are going to send this form to customers like that, and then the method should be post. That one you hit the post method in the controller. So in this case we can say method post, and of course this one we cannot be able to use type because it's nothing that we are submitting as an image or maybe a file. So I think everything is good here. I would like to copy whatever it is that we have here. Everything that we have here we will use in our file called show.blade. I mean edit.blade, not show.blade. Show.blade we finished with it. So edit.blade. So here we are going to paste also the same. I think there is something that we have not copied. So let me just go back to create and copy everything, because it seems what we have pasted is not everything. So here I'm going to delete and paste everything, and here we are going to do what? We are going to say edit customer. So that is what we are actually doing, and then the method still will be post, and in this case we will be able to also add another action on top of whatever it is that we're having. So in reality the method that we are using in this form is actually not post, and then where we are posting is customers, and then we are the customer ID. We will also pass in the ID of the record that we want edited. So here we are going to pass customer ID. Customer ID like that. And then after that we are also going to have another method here, because the real method that we are using is not post method, because the method that we will be using is actually a different method, and we're going to use the directive at method. And in this case we can have two methods, either put, and in this case put you change everything as we submit, or patch, which can be able to change just some parts of the records. For example, if you have a user's table and the only thing that you have allowed the user to change is the email, then the method you're going to use will be patch. But in this case, let us just use put, and then we will save. I think everything is almost set, not unless we have some errors. The last thing I would like us to do is to create a file which we are going to call messages, which will be able to display our Flash messages. So I will just create on the base folder, which is views. So I will say new file, and I'm going to have messages.blade.php, and in this file we are going to just have, we are only going to check for the success message, but you should know you can be able to check for every, to be able to handle every other message that comes from the controller in this case. But here I'm only going to handle success. So you can say if message we check the session, we get anything that has the tag of success, and then end if, and then if we have any message that is a success message, we are going to have a div, and here we can say alert with a class of alert, and we can say alert is a success. So it will give us the success color. We can say alert block, like that, and then we are going to display our message. So we can also say strong and then display our message. So any message that we are able to send to from the controller will be displayed here. And then we are going to extend messages.blade in our files, and the best place to place it is in app.blade. But for now, let us just maybe do something simple and just paste on each of the files. So when we go to show, under show we will not be returning anything. Under index probably we will. So here we can say, maybe after the container we can say at include messages. So you pick whatever it is that is in that file, and I'm going to copy this and also go to create.blade, and then where we have where our card begins, the card body, that before the form tag, that is where I want us to have it. And also the same thing in our edit.blade.php, also where the card body begins. So also we will paste this one there, and I think we can be able to save whatever it is that we have. Now I would like us to declare a route for these methods that we are working on in the controller, or we will be setting them up in the controller, and we are just going to do to display, or in other words to create the route in the following manner. So route, because it has index, create, all those methods, the Crud methods, we can just call it, it's actually a resource controller. And here we can say the link, in other words, will be customers, and then after that we can reference the controller. So in this case we call it customer controller class, like that. And still we have to import it up here. So up here we are going to say use app http controllers, and then we are going to have customer controller, like that. And then now we are going to just work on our customer controller, and I think that will be everything. So in our customer controller we have several methods, and we are going to just work with each one of them. So for the first method, which is the index function, I want us to get all the customers, and then we can say customer, that is the model, and then all, can just pass that you fetch all the customers that are there in our database. In this case we have not created any, and then we are going to return view, and the view we have created, it's inside the folder. You remember there is this folder whereby we have resources, views, and then our folder is called customers, and we will be calling the index.blade method. And in the index.blade method, as you can see down here, we are returning customers. So in this case, what I'm going to mention here in our controller is return view customers dot index, That one is the location of the file. So in this case, customers index, and then I'm going to pass this variable here that contains our customers, and we are going to just say with, and we can call it customers. This is the name that we have set in our blade file. So if you change this, you can also have to go and change the other one, and then we are passing in this customers array, or in other words, the values that we are getting from the database. And that will be everything about this first method. The next method, which is create, the create method will be calling this create.blade.php. So this one we will just go straight ahead and say return view, and then here we are going to say customers, which is the name of the folder, and then the name of the file, which is create.blade.php. We don't have to write all those other names. Now here under storage, where we are storing, as you can see, we have customer request. So there is another file that will be doing the validation for us, and after it does the validation, then we can be able to go ahead and save. So that is the file that I would like us to open right now, and we will find it under app http requests. So when we open this file, this one is called a form request, and inside this form request, the first thing that we need to do is to authorize, ensure that the user who is submitting this data is accepted. So we will say true. If you don't change it like that, it will give you an error of 403 of forbidden. So inside here, I would like us to just put our rules, and in this case, the first thing that we have is name, and name we can say it is required. And then we can say somebody is not supposed to give us a name that is more than 255 characters, because that is what we have set in our database. Then we have email, and for email we are going to say the email is required also, and we also want it to be a valid email, so we can say email. And then after that, we can be able to say we want it to be unique, such that somebody will not submit to us an email that has already been submitted and is saved in a database, because that will cause a conflict. So under the circumstances, this one we are going to say unique, and in this case, unique in which table? In customers table, like that. And then I think that one is okay. Then we will put a comma and also talk about the phone. And since the phone, we also just required it to be a string, we can say required. And we can also, because phone numbers is not possible for somebody to have the same phone number as another one, so even this one we can have it as unique. And then unique in the table of customers, like that. If everything is fine here, then we can go and be able to just, after this user has been validated, then we can be able to go ahead to save. And you can see this one is store customer request. It is the one that is being referred to in this controller. So let us go back to our controller and be able to save the user now. So we can be able to just say use customer, call the customer model, and then say create. And in this case, we can say request validated, like that. And then, so that short command will be able to save our user, and we are using request because all our data that has been validated will be getting in here through this variable request. And then after that, maybe we can be able to return a flash message, so we can say return back with success. and this is what we'll be checking. You remember we have set something in messages.blade.php here, whereby we will be checking for the success message. So this one here, so we are looking for success, and that is what it is that we are passing. So in other words, it says the request has been the user has been successfully saved, and we can be able to return a message. So we can say customer added successfully, like that. Customer added successfully, and I think that one is good enough. Then now here we have the show field. So this one will be opening this file, the one that we call show.blade.php, and then we can be able to pass in the customer details. So this one I'm just going to write return view customers, which is the name of the folder, this folder here, and then we can say show, like that, and we will also be able to pass. So we can say with, and we can be able to pass whatever it is that we have, that will be passed here. So in this case customer, and we are going to pass in the variable customer, which you'll be actually having the customer data passed. And then after that we go to edit. Now for the edit function, we will be returning a view. So in this case, again, similar to what we have here. In fact, I'll just copy this one where we have show. I will copy that one and just modify somewhere small. So it will, the view will not be customer.show, it will be customer.edit, just that. And I think every other thing works perfectly. And then we will also go to update. So when we are updating, it is similar to whatever it is that we have in the store method above. And here you have update customer request. So there is another file under requests, which is used to validate our update. So in this case, I can just go and check update customer, this one here, and I can just be able to go to store customer request and just copy everything here virtually. Copy everything here, and then under authorize, I'm going to return true. And then inside here we can be able to just paste our data. So maybe let me just remove these ones. No, we can just have them, because somebody can update an email that is that is different from the specific record that we are updating. We will wait on and see what happens there. So let's just have it like that. In case of anything, you can be able to modify. Now, so after this update customer request has been validated, then we can be able also to go ahead and update our customer details. So here we go back to our customer controller, and then so here we are going to to say we want to update. So customer, and then I believe we can be able to use update. We will check in case of any challenges, we can be able to come and correct. And here we can just say request validated, in a similar fashion as we did in our store function. And then we can be able to also return back with the success. So in this case we can have it like that, return with success. and we can say customer edited successfully. And then after that, to delete a customer, we can be able to just say customer, the customer who has been passed here, and we just pass and say delete, just like that. That way, that command, you delete our customer, and maybe we can return back with success and say customer deleted successfully. So I would like to run our application and see what happens. And the first thing that we are going to do also is to do our migration. So let me just ensure that my XAMPP is running. So I open it. Depending with whatever it is, your application environment, you can be able to just ensure that MySQL and Apache is running, or whatever it is that you are working with. So I open new terminal, and under this terminal I'm going to just run the command php artisan serve. But before we run php artisan serve, I would like us to first of all do php artisan migrate. And for you, if it is a new table that you have created in your database, or even if you have not created, Laravel will be able to send some steps for you to be able to create once you hit enter. But for me, my table is existing with other details, so I will just say migrate fresh. It's dropping all the tables and creating them again. I would like to clear, and then I want to run php artisan serve to run my application. So my server is running, so I can be able to visit localhost 8000 like that. As you can see, this is our Laravel page, but this one is still in Tailwind because we have not been able to tamper with the welcome.blade.php. So this one is still Tailwind, but every other thing now in our application is running on Bootstrap because we are extending the app.blade.php. Now I would like us to just visit customer and then create before we visit any other of the routes and see. So customer create, it says not found, it is customers, not singular. Customers create like that, and it says unclosed does not match. So let me see what is wrong with that. Input type, name, let me see, there's a problem with our file here. So you go to create.blade.php, and we are checking under name. I think it is name. There is an error somewhere where it says something is not matching. So we have class, yes, we have two classes. How did I miss that? Let us remove this one, yes. And then so let us try again and see. We are still having the problem. Let me just check. Yes, I have been able to see where the mistake is, because there is something that we have not closed there, and when you look at it, it's actually here, and then now it will be fine. And since we copied that code all through, then it means that error has been propagated in so many places, even up until the edit form. So maybe we will go and correct it. Let me save this and check again if it's okay, then we go and correct it on the edit form. And Vite is good because you can see it's reloading our page, and I see it seems this one now will load perfectly. But I would like to, yes, we have the form, and that is nice. I would like to go to edit.blade and also change the same thing, because we copied the same data and pasted it here, so we have the same error. So here again we will close that one the same way, and also this one for email, and also this one for phone, like that. That is good. So we have loaded our create.blade.php. If I just submit without having the data, you can see it's displaying the name field is required, and we have it red, but these other ones are not displaying anything, so meaning there is an error also still. So let us go and check also why that is the case. So we are checking for an error of what? Yes. So the first one we have the name, the last one we have form at error, form is invalid at end error, value old form. Why is this one not displaying? And also the one for email, so name email, class form control error, email is invalid, value old email. Does it mean we have a problem in our store customer? We have email and we have phone, and it is saved. Let me just check why that is the case. Yes, I can see where the challenge is. We are having two classes of form control, and that I think we had corrected in the first one, but I forgot to also delete on these two. So I will still go to our edit.blade and also remove those ones. So, and actually for this one it's for all of them, so we remove this and also remove this class of form control. And also, have I removed all of them? Yes, the first one, because they're supposed to be 3. Yes, and save. So now if we attempt again to submit, as you can see now every of them is displaying a red border and saying that field is required. So let me attempt and maybe just put a name, William Juma, an email, any email, a password, a phone number, any phone number, and then we submit. And you can see undefined constant message, so meaning it seems it was mistyped. Let me just check, because this is our message.blade.php, which we were using to display our success alert. So in this case, it's even possible that this user has been saved in the database. But let me just see why we are having that issue. This message is actually supposed to be a variable, and I see just written it message. That is where the challenge is coming from. So once we save it like that, let us try. And now in this case it means we just have to save another user with a different email. So maybe we can say James, and then an email, maybe which email, this one, and then a phone of 0. Let us say that is the phone. So when we submit, as you can see, we have customer added successfully. If we are to check our database, and I would like to do that, let us just go to localhost phpMyAdmin, localhost/phpMyAdmin, and as it opens, we can be able to find that we have a table called Laravel, and then we have how many users we have, customers. We have 2 customers. So we have been able to create, one of them is William Juma, the other one is James, and then we have their emails and their phone numbers. So I would like to go to the index function. So in this case I will just remove create and just go to customers, because now at least we have some customers, and as you can see they are displayed here. We have a small problem with our delete button because we have not been able to write something on it. So I'd like us to go back to index.play.php and do something about the button. So we want to have a button here, and the button is not even closed. So button like that, and then we are going to say delete like that. So that is the case. Now it's fine, and as you can see, if you are working with Vite, the page is just refreshing itself on its own. I want us to view a specific user. You can see William Juma with the email and with a phone number. And then if we want to view the other user also, we can see James Kamau with an email and their phone number. And then also if we want to delete, let me delete this one and see if it works. Delete. As you can see, now the customer is deleted successfully. We now only have one customer, who is James. And then I want us to edit. So you click here, and in this case our edit form is not bringing anything, so let us go and check it out. And so it's just because of one thing. At the end here we are not returning the customer name. So in this case we are returning an old value. We did not, I forgot to edit this, so we can just say customer and then name like that. And then for all the others, let me just copy this. We will have customer email and then customer phone. So yes, this one is customer email, not old email, like that. Customer email, not emails, just email, singular. And then lastly we have customer phone, not old phone, like that. Paste it, customer phone, like that. So I want us to go again to this edit and see. Yes, now our details are there. So for example, if I want to change the name, and we call him James Jones, like that, and maybe the email we can say gmail.net, whatever, Gmail, I have written my own things. And also the phone number I would like us to change like that. I want us to submit and see if there's something. Yes, I knew that we were likely to have a problem here on our update, because because we are having that error, and it says non-static method on update, so it cannot be called statically. And let us go and fix that one. So you go to customer controller. I would like us to do the following. We will just save this in a variable called customer, like that. And then how you remove the update, so we'll just save a request validated in this variable, and then after that we can just say customer, we chain update like that. And I think this one you'll be able to do it for us, and then I think that you'll be able to edit our details. So I would like us to just retry and see if we can be able to submit again. Call to a member function update on array. Let me just check. I think I'm mixing myself up. Since the customer is being passed here, actually we don't need to do this one here. We can just go ahead and update this customer just like that. I don't think we need to do anything else. We just pick the customer that is being passed here and update the customer like that. So I would like to refresh and see. Now it works perfectly. Now as you can see, the details are now not the same. And has anything changed really? There's nothing that has changed. Customer update. We can pass the request validated like that. I think that one will now work. So I would like us to edit James, and this one maybe gmail.net. The phone number we can add 22 and submit. And now you can see now it is editing our customer details successfully. So I would like to appreciate you for following this tutorial video up until this time. I ask that you may subscribe, you may comment, you may give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and also just share such that we can be able to reach many more. Thank you very much.